Hello, everyone. This video recording is a pre-recorded discussion, no, of our topic on Introduction to Nutrition, which is the chapter one of uh, our subject, no, okay, as presented in your course outline. This is the outline of this topic, and this is also written in your course outline. Okay, and I've told you to read, no, the book of Smolin uh, on chapter 1 man ata sa book nila. Yes, sa chapter 1 nila. And half maybe of the content that I included here came from that chapter, no, from that book. Okay, so it's really advantageous if you have read, no, the that chapter ahead of time, so that this wouldn't be too difficult for you to understand and internalize. Okay, so we'll start with the definition of key terms, and then just a review of your human anatomy, physiology, and its relationship with nutrition, although the two are closely related. But I would like to point out, no, where these two meet. And of course, the history of nutrition as a science, scope of nutrition as a science, the healthy diet. So I'm just going to define, no, what is a healthy diet, and I will also provide a background, no, on the current status, no, of food intake of the Filipino people according to the National Nutrition Survey, and of course some background on nutrition research. Okay, so yeah, I think this is one of the questions, no, that we would ask, no, after hearing about the term nutrition. Why do we eat? Okay, because eating and nutrition are closely related. And yeah, this is like one of those questions, no, that might seem simple, no, but actually daghan siya layers, no, in order to answer this question. So yeah, why do we eat? Because food comprises biochemicals, which are the building blocks of the human body and are required for growth, development, and balance. Okay, so simply because the building blocks, the very components of our body, are derived from the foods that we eat. Okay, so kung unsay naa sa foods nato, maura gyud pud na ang naa sa atong lawas. Okay, so for example, this one, this is a silhouette of a corn. Okay, so the components of the corn, as you can see, are the same with what this human figure, no, is comprised. So parehas ra gyud sila. Okay, so the food that we eat have, of course, the main biochemicals, the four main biochemicals. We have the carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and water. Okay, it's the same composition as in the human body. As you can see here, a lean adult male. So when you say lean, no, katong uh, dili kaayo siya tambok, dili kaayo siya taas og body fat, lean siya. That means muscular, no. Okay, because it's very important to emphasize, no, when describing a particular body build, because when you say lean adult male, it is very different um, from for example, from those males who have android obesity, because mas daghan silang body fat, no, compared sa lean adult male. So therefore magvary pud ang ilahang ang percentages, no, sa composition sa kani nga mga biochemicals. But in a lean adult male, 62% of their body is composed of water, 16% protein, 16% fats, and the rest are minerals, carbohydrates, and other substances. Okay, so majority of the human body is composed of water. It's actually the same with foods. No, uh, many foods are composed primarily of water. Actually, majority no, of the foods that we eat are um, comprised of water. Oo, dako kayong component ang water. Okay. So, yeah. So, maunang ingon nila nga, um, you are what you eat. Yes. That's literal, no? Because the components of the foods that we eat, again, would become a part of our body. Okay. So, yeah. And aside from the structural function of these biochemicals, they are also the ones that we use for growth, development, for energy. We need that energy, no, for growth and development, and for operation of bodily processes, and of course balance, or this is what we call homeostasis. Okay, so yeah. So food, how do we define food? This is any substance when ingested or eaten nourishes the body. Okay, you know this definition already. I think this is one of the things that were discussed in your basic foods one in the introduction for to food science. No, this was defined already. Okay, so food is anything that we ingest which nourishes us. Okay, which provides us nourishment, or which provides us nutrients. So food includes drinks, beverages, and food components. So even beverages, although they are liquid, they are considered food. Okay, and the components that comprise the ingredients that comprise uh, the foods that we eat, and the ingredients that comprise like the complex dishes, no, like kana mga viands, kana mga ingredients, they are considered food. Okay. By the way, the correct plural term, technically speaking, is food. Okay. When you say food, it would mean singular or plural, no? But we are accustomed to using foods to refer as its plural term. It's okay. But if you want to write a technical paper, you should follow that, no, like wala siya s, food lang siya. Okay, so food can be singular or plural. Okay, yeah. Okay, so we eat food because this food um, give us nourishment, or give us the nutrients that we need for growth, development, and maintenance, as well as survival, no? Okay, so as you can see here, we have these different types of food, no, and each of them is associated with a particular macronutrient, okay, which is present in large amounts, no. Okay, like for example, in here in this particular food group, we have the bread, pasta, the cereals. Okay, basically these food are rich in carbohydrates. Okay, because it's primarily composed of starch. Okay, starch is a carbohydrate, and we know that starch is comprised of its building blocks called sugar, or if we want the more scientific term, that's monosaccharides. So monosaccharides are the building blocks of carbohydrates. Okay, carbo in this food, no, carbohydrates comprise larger proportion, no, than proteins and fats. So we can expect that this food have more carbohydrates than proteins and fats. What about this? Okay, so these food are particularly rich in fats or triglycerides. Okay. By the way, fats and lipids are different. Okay, because lipids is the term no, to describe all hydrophobic biochemicals. So one of those hydrophobic biochemicals is fat. Okay, but there are many other lipids, not just fat. So when we say fat, it refers to triglycerides. So a triglyceride molecule, uh, review lang to sa atong biochem. When you say triglyceride molecule, tulo na siya nga fatty acids linked with a glycerol moiety or a glycerol compound. So isa nga glycerol gi-connect sa tulo nga fatty acids. So these are called this molecule is called a triglyceride molecule. So the simple term is fat, but if we want to be very technical or very scientific, then that's triglyceride. Okay. Um, it's also very important to be able to distinguish those terms this particular lipid from the rest of the other lipids, because this is only the lipid, the kind of lipid that gives us calories, that gives us energy. Other lipids like cholesterol, the fat soluble vitamins do not give us any calories. They have other important functions other than providing energy. But the only kind of lipid that gives us energy is triglyceride or fat. Okay, so this food, um, shall we say, have more fat no compared to carbohydrates and proteins. But what about this? Okay, kanima karne, poultry, isda, nuts, dried beans, crustaceans, seafoods. All of these are very rich in proteins. Okay, so your proteins are composed of amino acids as their building blocks. Okay, so we can say that this food group uh, has more proteins now compared has more proteins than carbohydrates and fats. Okay, so as an ND student, guys, we should be able to know no that's actually a bare minimum to be able to recognize which type of food group is rich in that particular nutrient. Okay, say for example, when we talk about meat, um, one of the things that should come to our mind no is that meat is particularly rich in protein. Okay, so inana dapat a hallmark of becoming an ND student is when, for example, when you are being presented a plate, okay, and you would not just see the components of the plate as ay kani rice ay kani kay karne. As an ND student atong makit-an na kay ang rice, atong makit-an na is ay kani carbohydrates ni, tapos kani karne ay kani proteins ni siya. Tapos na ay butter lugar, for example, kani siya kay dili ni siya dili na to mahuna-hunaan ba nga butter siya, but ang una nga ma-come up sa atong mind is kani siya fat. Okay, so di na ninyo mapansin no, but ma-realize na ninyo nga as an ND student mauna na inyong makitaan sa inyong mga plato. Okay, so yeah, and that's good news because that means you are really learning. Okay, yeah, so what is nutrition? Okay, na-define na natin ang food. So what is nutrition? This is the study of the processes by which an organism ingests, digests, absorbs, transports, utilizes, and excretes food substances. Okay, so we actually have two definitions of nutrition. Nutrition as a biochemical process. This is how you define it. Okay, it's a biological process, guys. It's a very large biochemical process that involves the breakdown, that's digestion, the breakdown of foods. So the breakdown of foods in the body is mainly biochemical. That means it proceeds through a series of enzymatic reactions. So if a particular reaction involves an enzyme, we can really say that that process is biochemical in nature. Okay? Yeah, so ang pag-breakdown sa to ang foods guys, kana siya kay biochemical na siya. Okay? That's a very large biochemical reaction. Okay? And even when we finally absorb them, okay, kana siya kay biochemical gyapon na siya because daghan kayo nag reactions nga mahitabuan na. So and transport, utilization, we can call this as the metabolism. Okay, so although kanang metabolism, very complex na siya, no? And we will discuss that on nutritional biochemistry next sem. But yeah, kanang metabolism diha gyud nato makit-an gyud ang biochemistry sa nutrition, no? And excretion of food substances. Okay? So in simpler terms guys, nutrition is the process of how food becomes you. Yes. Okay? Uh, we will study no giunsa sa sa atong lawas no sa pag-transform sa kanang mga compounds nga naa sa atong foods padulong sa kung unsay gamitan no sa atong lawas. So um the process of the food becoming a part of us. Okay? So that's nutrition defined as a process. But what about nutrition defined as a discipline or as a field of study? So nutrition is the study of food in relation to the health of an individual, community, or society. So nutrition actually, guys, is different no from the other allied health sciences. When you say allied health sciences, those are we can consider as the traditional pre-med courses. So, kanang mga inclined sa medicine, we have BS biology, medical technology, nursing, pharmacy. Those are the allied health sciences, and of course, and nutrition and dietetics is an allied health science. But among the allied health sciences, it's only nutrition that involves food. No other health science involves food science no in their respective study. So sa nutrition ra gyud na. So nutrition is where health and food meet. Okay? And nutrition is very relevant because even in the practice of medicine no kanang mga doctors nato mag-recommend sila counseling sila sa ilang patient, ilagi na include ang diet or ang nutrition sa ilang patient because nutrition is very important in the maintenance of health. Okay, so we know that our food have a big impact on our health. Okay, so that's what we are going to study. How does nutrition affect a person's health? Not just of a person, but also of a community or of the society in general. Okay. So, okay. Your course is called Nutrition and Dietetics. Okay, excuse me, guys. Nutrition and Dietetics. So, um, na-define ang nutrition. So, what is dietetics? So, dietetics is actually the application of nutrition. When you say nutrition, Manggod, more on theories siya. So the principles, the theories behind what we study. But when we say dietetics, that is where we apply the knowledge, the theories, the principles we learn from nutrition. So dietetics is the application of the science of nutrition to manage conditions in the clinical setting, promote health and prevent disease at the population level, and direct the food flow in food service institutions. So this is where we apply nutrition in the three main fields of nutrition and dietetics. So although later akong expound pa yun no those three fields, but I can name this now. I can name them now. So we have the hospital setting or the medical setting or the clinical setting. So when we apply nutrition to the clinical setting, so that's clinical nutrition. Promote health and prevent disease at the population level, that is community nutrition. Okay? And direct the food flow in food service institutions, then this is the food service. So tulo ang arms sa nutrition dietetics. We have clinical, community, and food service. Okay, so DBS and the curriculum has subjects no, that are uh, more related with each of those fields. Okay, so you will be able to realize that as you go through the uh, year levels no, of this program. We also have health, of course. Okay, because that nutrition is again very related with health. So what is health? This is the complete state of physical, emotional, mental, and social well-being, and not just merely an absence of disease or infirmity. We might be tempted to think that I just because this person looks energetic, looks good, um, we would then think that this person is healthy. But actually, being healthy is more than the physical appearance. It actually includes more, or shall we say, other aspects of well-being. So not just their physical appearance, but also their emotional, mental, and social states. Okay, so it is only when in these components no of well-being, it is only when you are healthy or when you have good status in these four components of the well-being, that is only when you can be considered as healthy. Okay, so this is the definition of health no, this is the holistic definition of health. Okay, so it's not just an absence of disease or infirmity. So that doesn't mean that if you don't have a disease, that doesn't mean you are healthy no. Naapay other sides of well-being, like the emotional, mental, and social well-being. Okay, so that's very important, guys, that uh, you recognize this particular definition as the real definition of health. Okay, what about nutrients? Okay, so a nutrient is a chemical component needed by the body for one or more of these three general functions. So, to provide energy, to build and repair body tissues, and to regulate life processes. Okay, so to provide energy, that's actually one of the main functions of our macronutrients. Okay, so to build and repair body tissues, yeah, that's a function no, of a certain macronutrient. And to regulate life processes, that is where the micronutrients come into play. Okay, yeah, so if a particular dietary biochemical, when you say dietary biochemical, it's a compound that is found in our food. So if a particular dietary biochemical fulfills one or two or all of these functions, then that dietary biochemical can be considered a nutrient. Okay? Although naapay other criteria to consider whether or not this particular dietary biochemical can be considered a nutrient, but these are the main criteria. Okay? So, what are those macro and micronutrients? So, we have two general classifications of nutrients. So, we have the macro and the micronutrients. What do you mean by macro? Okay, macro dako, big, large. Okay, so therefore, these nutrients comprise the largest amount no in our food. Okay, so we know that kato water siya gyud ang major no, siya actually ang pinakadaghan yun no sa ato ang food. Okay, and followed by the other macronutrients, carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. So kani sila dako ni sila sa um, sa atong foods. Excuse me. And aside from that, we also need these nutrients in larger amounts compared to micronutrients. So we need more carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, shall we say, than the micronutrients. Okay? Uh, that means, guys, ang atong daily needs for these nutrients are usually expressed in grams per day. Okay? While these micronutrients, we need them only in minute amounts, in milligrams or micrograms per day. That's why they are called as micronutrients. And uh, our food no only comprise small amounts of these nutrients. That's why they are called as micronutrients, because micro means small. Okay? Yeah. So balik ta didto no dire. So atong i-associate kani nga mga functions with these classes of nutrients. So when you say too general, that's macro and micro. But kung six na din, water, carbs, proteins, fats, vitamins, and minerals. Okay? Sige, to provide energy, that is the function actually of carbohydrates and fats. Yeah. Our main source of energy is actually carbohydrates, but if wala na yung carbohydrates then fats na dayon ang sunod. Okay? But we can say that these two uh, are the ones that provide us a lot of energy. What about to build and okay, the rest of this except from proteins no do not give us any calories. Okay? Water is non-caloric. That means, bisag sige tag inom og tubig, di gyud na siya makadugang sa ato ang body fat. Okay? Kaya wa man ni calories. Okay? Although mo taas atong timbang, but after na to ihi, mugamay ra gyapon natong timbang. So that's why dili siya makatambok. Contrary to popular myth no nga kanang mag-inom tag cold water manambok ta. Okay. Di na siya tinood because water contains zero calories. Okay? Water, vitamins, and minerals do not give us calories. Okay? It's only these three. Proteins can give us calories, but dili ni siya ang major function ni protein. In fact, as much as possible, we prevent proteins from becoming a source of calories for our body, because that means if the proteins are if magsugod tag ka ng breakdown sa proteins no, that means dili na ta healthy ana, nanatay sakit ana, because the time nga mag-breakdown na tag proteins, usually ga-starve na ta, dili kayo maayo atong pagkaon, and naatay sakit. Okay? So maunang, as much as possible, if we want to be in homeostasis, carbohydrates in atong gina-breakdown, and secondarily, fats. Okay? So, to build and repair body tissues, this is now the primary function of proteins. Okay? So, kanang karne na to, kanang mga laman na to, those are primarily composed of proteins. Okay? And to regulate life processes, that is the function of water, vitamins, and minerals. Okay? So, kana siya, no? Mauning, maingon na to nga go, grow, and glow. Go foods to provide energy. So, kana mga go foods na to, mga rich in carbs and fats. To build and repair body tissues, so that's protein-rich foods. And to regulate life processes, vitamins and minerals, and water. Those are found in fruits and vegetables. Okay? So, yeah. Other principles that are very necessary no, for us to know, okay? Like these are the additional criteria no, to say that uh, that this dietary biochemical is really considered as an essential nutrient. Okay. First is they are either insufficiently manufactured inside the body or not made by the excuse me or not made by the body at all. Okay? So um if kani siya nga dietary biochemical wala tay capacity to produce them, okay? or buhat ta ani nga nutrient pero kulang, dili enough for our daily needs, then that dietary biochemical can be considered as an essential nutrient. Okay? Um, why? Because kinahanglan siya sa tong lawas pero dili ta kabalo mo, dili ta capable mo produce. Okay? Like for example, maghatag kog particular example ani no. Vitamin C. Okay? We need vitamin C. If kulang atong vitamin C, we would suffer from a lot of diseases, including its deficiency disease called scurvy. Okay? So, pwede jud ta mamatay no if wala tay vitamin C. And we do not have the capacity to produce vitamin C. That's the bad news. Dili ang ato ang lawas dili kabalo mo buhat og vitamin C. So, when can we get our vitamin C then? We have to get them from our foods. So therefore, vitamin C is considered an essential nutrient because we need them plus we do not have the capacity to produce it. Okay? Versus compare that with cholesterol. We need cholesterol. Kinahanglan gyud nato ang cholesterol sa atong lawas. Okay? It serves as a, a very important component of our cell membrane. Okay, that is very important in the cellular function, no? But we can produce cholesterol in our body. Our body has the capacity to produce cholesterol, okay? And the level of the body's production for cholesterol is sufficient for the body's needs. So the question is, from that premise, do you consider cholesterol as an essential nutrient? Makabuhat man ta, maka-manufacture man ta, and then ma-meet sa sa lawas ang needs nato for cholesterol, then therefore cholesterol is not considered an essential nutrient. Okay? Kay although need na to siya but enough raman ang ma-produce sa atong lawas. So we don't need additional cholesterol from our foods. Mao na nga kung masubraan tag cholesterol gikan sa food, diha na dayon no nga associated na siya with diseases, 'di ba? Because we don't need additional cholesterol from our food. So therefore we can literally like exclude uh cholesterol rich foods from our diet because after all we don't need additional cholesterol because our body can produce enough cholesterol for its needs. Okay? Another example is balik sa vitamin C, no? Other organisms can actually produce vitamin C like kani mga cats and dogs nato. That's why we do not observe our cats and dogs to eat like fruits, no? Kay di man nila kinahanglan ang fruits because they can actually produce their own vitamin C. Okay? Actually kanang vitamin C gikan ra na siya sa sugar, no? Ang biochemistry ana sa kanang mga cats and dogs, they convert sugar to vitamin C. They have the necessary enzymatic machineries to be able to do that. But kita, wala tay genes for that. Okay? Wala tay glucose oxidase. That's the enzyme needed for the conversion of glucose to vitamin C. Okay? So, therefore, kinahanglan yun nato magkaon og fruits and vegetables nga rich in vitamin C. Okay? What about vitamin D? You have learned, I think, from your biochem as well as from your human anat that our skin has the capacity to you know uh, to serve as or to contain the precursor no for vitamin D synthesis. Yes. Okay? So therefore makaproduce ta og vitamin D as long as we expose our skin to sunlight no for in an adequate amount of time. Okay? That's why vitamin D is called the sunshine vitamin because when we expose our skin to sunlight, makaproduce na yung tag vitamin D. Okay? So actually, ang naadiya sa tong skin is called 7-dehydrocholesterol. So that's not vitamin D yet. But as soon as you expose your skin to sunlight, that 7-dehydrocholesterol is photoisomerized to a series of compounds leading to the production of the active vitamin D. Okay, so kanang 7-dehydrocholesterol upon exposure to sunlight mahimo na siya tungod sa radiation, no, kanang 7-dehydrocholesterol ma-convert na siya to cholecalciferol, and then moagi na siya series of organs hangtod nga moabot siya sa kidneys. Si kidneys ang mag activate sa vitamin D. So pag-abot didto sa kidneys, ang calcidiol or 25 hydroxycholecalciferol mahimong 125 dihydroxycholecalciferol or simply called as calcitriol. Okay, so kaning si calcitriol mao na ng active vitamin D. So, see, we can produce our vitamin D. But nganong gitawag man nga essential gyapon si vitamin D? Nganong gitawag gyapon siya nga nutrient nga makaproduce man di ay ta? Actually, dili enough ang ato ang production sa vitamin D. Given sa atong lifestyle nga dili kay ta mumatag sayo, dili baya kaayo ta particular nga ay gawas yun ko kay gusto na ako expose akong skin to sunlight bisag pa buntag, no, labi na nga bisita nga after nato mata diretso ligo, then yeah, then karon nga pandemic nga naara ta sa atong balay, no. So inadequate yun atong sunlight exposure, so therefore inadequate pud ang atong vitamin D production. So therefore dili enough ang atong vitamin D. So therefore we need to get that lacking vitamin D from the foods that we eat. Okay? So that's why it's still considered an essential nutrient. Kay ingon diri o, they are either insufficiently manufactured. Okay? So inana ha. Anything that we can manufacture inside our body nga sufficient ang amount, nga enough ang amount, is not considered an essential nutrient. Okay? So, they need to be present in our foods, katong mga essential nutrients. And all of them are equally essential. Although, mas dako atong kinahanglan sa macronutrients compared sa micronutrients, but all of them are equally essential. Okay? Bisag pa, like, okay atong macronutrients, pero kulang day mong vitamins, dili gyapon na pwede because mag-lead gyapon na siya to diseases. Okay? Definitely, dili pud pwede nga okay atong vitamins, minerals, then kulang atong macronutrients. Dili pud na pwede. So therefore, they are all equally essential. Okay? So, I want you to very technical with that, ha? Kay kaning mga lay persons, kaning mga wala ga major og ND, kabalo sila unsay nutrient, pero wa sila kabalo kung unsa gyud ang mga criteria in order to say that this dietary biochemical is considered a nutrient. Okay? So mao tong mga criteria. Okay? So this is a list of established essential nutrients to date. Okay? In the future basig na ay muad ani, but as of the moment, mao pa ni ang recognized nga essential nutrients. Okay? Ang uban nga mga dietary biochemicals that are not included here are not considered as essential nutrients. Kanira gyud sila ang essential nutrients. Okay? We have dietary fiber, this is a carbohydrate. The essential amino acids, those amino acids that are not synthesized by the body. Okay? So this amino acids really fit, no, this criterion that we just discussed. And we have the two essential fatty acids, alpha linolenic acid and linoleic acid. Then of course water, H2O. Then the fat soluble vitamins, ADEK, vitamin A, D, E, and K, And then the water-soluble vitamins, we have the thiamine, B1, riboflavin, B2, niacin, vitamin B3, pantothenic acid, vitamin B5, pyridoxine, vitamin B6, biotin, B7, folate, B9, cobalamin, B12, choline, wala pa siya other term, it's just called as choline, but it's categorized under the water-soluble vitamins, and of course, your vitamin C or ascorbic acid. And we have the minerals. The minerals that are considered essential in human nutrition. We have calcium, phosphate, sodium chloride, potassium, sulfur, magnesium, iron, zinc, iodine, selenium, molybdenum, manganese, copper, chromium, and cobalt. Okay. So, yeah. I-discuss na to ni one by one, no? Sa final term na kaning mga vitamins and minerals nato. But yeah, mao pa ni ang listahan sa mga nutrients sa human nutrition. Okay? So, in this subject, no, I'll try to, give sufficient background to each of these kay daghan man ni kaayo. Okay? But yeah, that's part of our study. Kung ang mga pharmacy students, they study no, each drugs, ang atuwa is each nutrients. Okay? Sige. How are nutrients used by the body? Okay, diri ta maghisgot. Okay? Mao ni siyang exciting nga part, guys. Okay? Kaning metabolism. Okay? So, these nutrients are needed for energy harvest or oxidation for energy. So, these macronutrients are actually broken down to smaller compounds, and along the process, no, energy is generated. Okay? Although, dili pa nato ni i-mind, no? Di sa nato ni i-mind kani mga pathways sa nutritional biochemistry pa ni siya, no? But yeah, I just want you to show, no, that these carbohydrates, proteins, and fats are actually incorporated into the metabolism of energy, because these macronutrients are the source, uh, are the ones that are being broken down in order to generate ATP or energy. Okay? So mauning agian lugar sa kumbaga kani ang starting materials. Then i-break down na sila padulong sa TCA and then sa electron transport chain. Okay? And dito sa ETC maka-generate og ATP or energy. Okay? So yeah, nganong kinahanglan na tong energy? Because energy is the one that runs our body. Okay? Siya ang gahatag og fuel sa bodily processes, sa growth, sa development, sa atong body. So, that's why we need to eat. Okay? Mo nang kinahanglan ta magkaon. Okay? Kinahanglan man na tong energy. Okay? And yeah, as you can see here, fats are metabolized in this part. Okay? Glucose, carbohydrates are metabolized via glycolysis. Okay? And amino acids, the building blocks of proteins, can also be broken down in order to generate calories or energy. Okay? Then usually mo converge na sila sa TCA. So actually the TCA cycle, this is called as the central metabolic pathway, because all of the three macronutrients can converge, no, into the TCA cycle. So ang ilang breakdown products mo converge ran or mo meet sila sa TCA cycle. Okay? Or mao ning ginatawag nato nga Krebs cycle. Okay? Yeah, so dili sa nato ni i-worry kay sa biochemistry pa man nato ni next sem. But yeah, I just want to emphasize, no, that uh that in these pathways the macronutrients are the ones that are utilized. Kay mao man ang mga substrates, mga macronutrients ang substrates ani. Okay? So we can say that without nutrients, these metabolic pathways would not be possible. Okay? Yeah. Siguro maunang wala kayo na-emphasize yung general biochem. Ang mga substrate ra di ay sa kaning mga metabolic pathways nato kay nutrients ra. Okay? Maunang dili pwede nga magisgot tag biochem nga walay nutrition. Because after all, ang gina-utilize nato for metabolism are nutrients. Okay? Yeah, and this is an example no, of how vitamins no are used. They are also used no in metabolism of energy or in the harvest of energy. Okay, they are also used in the breakdown of proteins, carbohydrates, and fats for energy. Okay, like for example, vitamin B2, niacin, and pantothenic acid are actually utilized in this part in the conversion of fatty acids to acetyl-CoA. We also have the conversion of amino acids to pyruvate acid, ang kinahanglan nga B vitamins no kay riboflavin and pyridoxine. Okay? Sa diri nga part, need ang B2, B6, B12, biotin, and pantothenic acid. Okay? So, I'm just showing you no kung nga I'm just showing you nga involve ang ato ang vitamin B complex sa generation of energy. And this is just one of their functions. Napa sila other functions, of course. But I'm just showing you, no, unsa ilang parts sa energy metabolism. Okay? So these are just few of the examples of how our body utilizes nutrients. So after nato magkaon og foods, after nato sila ma-digest or ma-absorb, mao na dayon na ang mahitabo sa ila sa sulod sa tong lawas, sa sulod sa tong mga cells. Okay? So, we can really say nga ang human anatomy and physiology no is really nutrition. Okay? Okay. Um the operation of our body no depends on nutrient input. Okay? Kaya kung wala yung mga nutrients then dili mo run atong body. Okay? Okay. How do we define diet, guys? Diet is the sum of food consumed by a person or other organism. So, morning ingon nato nga um morning ingon nato nga dili pasabot no nga wa kagakaon mo nang diet kay mao man na ang ato ang pag define sa diet sa mga lay people no nga ay ga-diet ka. Ang pasabot anak kay wa ka gakaon, di ba? Kay ga-diet ka kay gusto nimo mag-lose og weight. But mao na siya ang atong pag-define among the lay people. But if we want to be technical, then diet is actually the sum of food. So ang tanan nga gikaon nimo, okay? Mao na siya ang part sa imong diet. Okay? What about dietary patterns? So according to Sanchez Villegas and Martinez Lapicina, dietary pattern is the quantity, variety, or combination of different foods and beverage in a diet and the frequency with which they are habitually consumed. Okay? So, ang dietary pattern, guys, it involves um, actually the combination of different foods in a particular diet. Okay? Examples of dietary patterns are Mediterranean diet, Western diet, low GI diet. For example, kaning Mediterranean diet, this is comprised of olive oil, fish, healthy fats like avocado and nuts. Okay, less red meat, less eggs, um, more on fruits and vegetables. So, mao na ang Mediterranean dietary pattern. Okay? So if your diet looks like that, then your diet can be considered a Mediterranean type. Okay? Mao na imong dietary pattern. But if imong diet is comprised of, high sugar foods, high saturated fat foods, high cholesterol foods, mga salty nga foods, high sodium foods, then that kind of dietary pattern can be called as Western type or Western diet. Okay? So, yeah. So, I just want to point these two terms out because they are very important, no? Especially in the conventional knowledge of nutrition. Okay? You will hear more about this term, especially kaning dietary pattern. So, that's actually how you define it. Okay? Okay. Food quality. So, what is food quality? We have these three characteristics, no, according to Hammurabi Ruiz. Um, this is when we can say that a particular food item is of high quality or is of good quality. First is it must be nourishing or nutritious. So therefore, it must be rich in nutrients. Okay, not just all calories, no, but aside sa calories dapat naapod siya vitamins and minerals. So that's actually how we can say that a particular food is nourishing if inana siya. Okay, that's the first criterion. Second is it is safe to eat. Okay, very important ni siya. Actually, more important than the first item, no? Because we want our food to be safe first before it can be nutritious. Okay? Kay kung unsa pa na siya ka nutritious pero dili di siya safe in the first place, so dili pwede. Okay? Kay kung dili safe siya i-consume, then that might lead to foodborne diseases. It must be palatable. So dapat lami siya. Actually, mao gyud ni atong ginapangita sa food. Dapat lami siya, palatable siya. Okay? So mo nang important siya nga criterion. Next is it has satiety value. That means it can make you full. It can satisfy you. Okay? Satiety value is the feeling of fullness. Okay? Very important ni guys kay frustrating kaayo nga atong foods dili makapabusog sa ato. Okay? So, a food is considered of good quality if it has satiety value. And last but not the least, it is in accordance with the individual socio-economic context. It aligns with your culture, it aligns with your religion, okay? It aligns with your food preferences. It aligns also with your socio-economic status, your financial resources. Okay? Yeah, 'di ba? Dili man for example kung SDA ta or kung Muslim ta, di man gyud nato ma-consider nga food ang pork kay mao man ang naa sa atong religion, 'di ba? Di ta magkaon og pork. Okay? So, yeah, it must be in accordance no with those factors, religion, cultural, okay? Financial, like kung swak ba siya sa imong budget, 'di ba? So, yeah. So these are the five criteria of good food quality. What about factors of food choices? So this is from the ebook no that I want you to read dito sa chapter 1, Smolin and Grosvenor 2019. So these are the kumbaga factors no that affect no your food choices, or these are the factors um that would lead no to your food choices. Okay? First is availability. Okay, this is I think the most important because kung unsay available maura man na imong choices, di ba? Um you can observe this especially karon nga mag face to face ta. Kung unsay duol sa inyo nga karenderya, kung unsay duol sa inyo nga market nga palitan na pagkaon, maura sad na inyong food choices. Okay? Yeah, and although if you know no nga di gid siya maayo kanang mga available nga foods di gid siya maayo no, you can actually opt not to travel to other places just to make your food choices healthier, but during sa mga time nga busy ta wa na tay time, ang availability gid sa pagkaon ang mag-dictate sa tong food choices. We also have social and cultural considerations. Okay, kato, related siya sa katong number 5 nga criterion sa food quality, no? nga it must be in accordance with your social cultural beliefs, your religion, okay? Um, Psychological and emotional factors, okay, kani. We might have like foods no that are consumed in large amounts depende sa atong emotions kaning mga stress eating na to no. Okay, there are foods that you associate to be your comfort food. Okay, so mao ni nga mga factors pud ang mag-dictate pud sa atong food choices. Personal preferences, mga food favorites nato, mga food dislikes nato. Of course, katong mga di nato ganahan, di gyud nato to paliton or di gyud nato kaunon, di ba? Katong mga favorites gyud nato usually ang ato ang uh, food choices. Okay? So, these are the four factors that lead to a person's food choices. Okay? Um, enzymes are chemical catalysts in our body. You know this, no, from your biochemistry, and their names commonly end in ASE. So amylase, lipase, lactase, aminopeptidase. So kung ilahang suffix no kay ASE, mao nang timailhan nga enzyme sila. Okay? So enzymes are uh, usually proteins no that speed up chemical reactions in the body. So they facilitate the biological reactions no in the body. Mao na tong ingon nako nga if a reaction involves an enzyme, then that reaction is of biochemical type. Okay? Very important ng enzymes. Okay? You will frequently encounter this term no in many topics of nutrition. Okay, because after all, these enzymes no are the ones responsible in processing the nutrients in our body. Hormones, what are hormones? They are chemical messengers in our body. Like these are the ones that our body uses in order to send signals within our body. For example, adrenaline, estrogen, testosterone, and insulin. So you will also frequently encounter this term po. Next is, okay, i-check sana ko ang time, guys. Okay. So wala pa nag 1 hour. Okay. Next is nutritional status or nutriture. So the shortcut no uh, sa nutritional status nga term is nutriture. Bali mao ni siyang shorter term niya. So this is the condition of the body resulting from the utilization of nutrients. So there are only two conditions of the body as a result of utilization of nutrients. So therefore, there are only uh, two nutritional statuses. We have good nutrition or optimal nutrition or malnutrition or imbalanced nutrition. So duha ra gyud ang outcome sa atong nutritional status. It's either good atong nutrition or imbalanced atong nutrition, which is also called as malnutrition. So malnutrition includes overnutrition and undernutrition. So over means excessive, under means deficient or kulang. So um we might associate no malnutrition more on the side of undernutrition, but actually if sobra-sobra pod ang mga nutrients then di po na siya maayo, and that is also considered malnutrition. Okay, so we also have these terms no double and triple burden of malnutrition. So we have these forms of malnutrition. So kani, of course, this is under, diba? Payat kayong bata, very thin, kulang siya sa macronutrients, kulang siya sa energy. Okay? So this is undernutrition. This one, we can say that this child no, is larger than her age. So this child might be suffering from overnutrition. So two sides of the malnutrition coin, under and over. But naa pa ba ikatulo? Yes, naay ikatulo actually. Although this can also fall down under either under og over, but naapud tay ginatawag nga um, micronutrient deficiency. Okay? Like for example, this one. Ah, mao daw ni ang normal conjunctiva, then mao ni ang pale conjunctiva. So, ah what causes this one? Kaning pale conjunctiva? Deficiency of a particular mineral called as iron. Okay? So therefore, this is micronutrient deficiency and this falls undernutrition. Okay? So kung kulang ka sa vitamins and minerals, undernutrition pud na. But ang specific term is micronutrient deficiency. So, unsa lugar ning double and triple burden of malnutrition? Double burden of malnutrition is when a particular community has both under and overnutrition. Like, ang cases sa undernutrition o ang cases sa overnutrition kay the same. The same nga significant. Okay, that means na ay mga bata nga undernourished na aside mga batang overnourished. So, kana double burden of malnutrition. But if naapag yun mga mineral deficiencies, mga vitamin deficiencies, then mo nang mahimo ng triple burden of malnutrition. Okay. So, actually, mao ning ginatawag po nga hidden hunger because it might not be too obvious compared to the other two forms of malnutrition. That's why it can be called as hidden hunger, kaning micronutrient deficiency. Okay? So, this is what we do not want in nutrition. This is what we would try to prevent or mitigate or manage kaning malnutrition. Okay? And it's not only seen in the community, but it's also seen in the clinical setting or in the hospital setting. So actually, our role in the hospitals now is to prevent and treat malnutrition in patients because if the patient is more malnourished, then the patient would uh, less likely recover from diseases. So, kinahanglan nga i-treat pud ang malnutrition sa mga patients. That's why R&Ds are hired in the hospital setting to do that. Okay? So, we have factors affecting the nutriture. So, this is according to Hammurabi Ruiz, the primary and secondary factors. So, the primary factors include the external factors like faulty diet, poverty, ignorance, poor food habits, limited food supply, poor distribution of foods, cultural religious factors. So, external, that means sa gawas sa human body. Okay? These are the primary factors. Okay? Mauning maka-affect sa nutritional status. What about secondary factors? These are the factors that occur inside the body. Thus, they are called as internal factors. So we have gastrointestinal disorders, lack of appetite, poor teeth, poor absorption, etc. Okay. We also have this another illustration that would represent the multi-level factors affecting nutrition. So we have the individual, family, micro, and macro environment. Macro environmental level represents the largest level, no? And in this level, economic policies, laws, and so forth are included here. Okay? Mao ni sila ang pinakadakog scope, kumbaga. Okay? An example of this is laws. Like, na ay mga legislations karon that would promote the nutritional status of the people. Like, natay mga laws about breastfeeding para ma-promote ang nutritional status sa bata as well as sa inahan. Okay? Naatay mga rules like salt iodization um, mag-manufacture ta no og mga salts nga naay iodine. Okay? Very important ni guys kaning macro environment level, especially kaning mag-create ta sa laws no nga related sa nutrition because that could really like reinforce no nutrition intervention and help manage uh, the nutritional status of the people. Okay? For example, kaning salt iodization nga law. Okay? Sa una, labi na diri sa Bukidnon. Bukidnon is a landlocked province. Therefore, walay dagat. Okay? So therefore, kulang pud ang mga marine foods like mga fish, seafoods, and this food are rich in iodine. So since kulang man ang marine food sa diet sa mga taga Bukidnon sa una, then mas daghan ang goiter cases diri. Okay? Goiter is primarily caused by iodine deficiency. Okay? So diha na mo interplay no kato mga food choices like dili kayo available ang marine food sources no. Oo. So what did the Philippine government do in order to uh, address that problem? Nag-create sila law that would require the salt manufacturers no to include iodine in their salt. Mandatory na siya. So, therefore, sukad atong iodized na ang asin, ni gamay ang cases sa goiter diri sa Bukidnon and other landlocked provinces. Kay bisag pa wala kayo'y isda ug seafood sa ilang diet na may asin nga naay iodine. So dili ra or nigamay ang cases of iodine. So that is example of how laws as part of the macro environment level influence the nutritional status. Another thing is social media. Okay? Sa una kay ang media kay TV raman radio but karon apil na ng social media kanang Facebook kaning sa internet no. Dagan kay mga fake news sa social media like kanang mga fad diets, okay? Then mga social media influencers, di ba? Na sila yung mga gina-promote nga diet nga dili di ay maayo but tungod kay influencer sila, ma-influence yun ang mga tao, di ba? So, that is another example of how a component of the macro environmental level affects the nutritional status of the people. What about microenvironmental level? We also have in here the local community, the laws, the policies in the local community. So sa barangay or sa municipality na abay mga ordinances that would promote no good nutritional status. Say for example, mga ordinance sa barangay no nga magpa-zumba every Friday, di ba? So that would help no the people in there to manage their weight no. Okay? So, mao na siya. School settings. Okay, kanang mga conditions sa school like unsay mga gina-offer sa cafeteria, kung accessible ba ang mga fruits and vegetables within the school premises, di ba? Work sites, okay, sa mga workplaces and restaurants and fast food outlets. Labi na kung duol-duol ka sa mga lugar nga daghan og fast food, so maura man na atong available, so mao gyud natong kaunon, so mao nang maka-influence gyud siya sa nutritional status. In the family environmental level, we have role modeling, feeding styles, availability culture. So kaning mga factors nga naa sa atong family. Okay? Very important ng role modeling, guys. Mao nang ang parents dako kayo ang role niya no sa nutrition. Okay? Sorry kisaba kayo ang saba kayo ang ero no. Role modeling, okay? So Kung unsay ginakaon sa parents, usually maumang yun ang kaunon sa bata. Okay? Mao na usually no nga kung tambok ang inahan, tambok pud ang bata. Okay? Role model man sa children ang ilang parents. So mao na nga as parents kinahanglan nga kita man ang role model, so kung sa atong kaunon dapat kanang healthy food kay mao ba yan na ang i-imitate or awaton sa ato ang mga anak. Okay? In the individual level, we have biology or genetics. So this is where nutritional genomics comes into play. Okay? Like depende sa atong genes, no? Flavor experiences, learning history, and demographic factors. Okay? Kaning flavor experiences, siguro na atay mga bad experiences regarding a particular food, so di na nato siya kaunon, no? So those are the factors in the individual level. So this is very important, guys, to know that naay nga factors sa kada level. Okay? We also have this UNICEF conceptual framework for analyzing the causes of malnutrition. Okay? The causes of malnutrition, according to this framework, are categorized into three levels. You have the basic causes, the underlying causes, and then the immediate causes. So the immediate causes are in the individual level. Okay? So, mao ni ang mga factors sa individual nga level. Okay? They are immediately related with malnutrition. Kaning underlying, mao ni sila ang mga cause sa immediate causes. Okay? And basic causes mo ning usually na sa societal level or sa general level or sa macro environment level. Okay? So, yeah, the same lang siya ani, no? Okay? Say for example, this one disease. A presence of a disease would usually lead to malnutrition. Okay? Kung naay sakit ang isa ka tao, usually di na ganahan magkaon. So that would lead to deficiencies of nutrients that would lead to malnutrition. And disease is the immediate cause. What about the underlying cause? Unsay cause aning disease? So it could be poor water, sanitation, and inadequate health services. Okay? Like for example, dengue ang disease, then nagka-dengue ka tungod kay poor ang sanitation, poor ang environmental sanitation. So mo na underlying cause. Okay? Ang cause aning immediate cause, kumbaga. So what about the basic causes? Mao ni ang root causes. Mao ning pinaka-root, mao ning pinaka-basic nga cause. Okay? So nganong poor man ang sanitation, tungod siguro kay poor pud ang governance, poor pud ang politics, okay? Poor ang economic status sa community, okay? Siguro kulang ang manpower pud, wala kayo yung mga health workers sa kanang barangay, that's why dili kayo educated ang mga tao nga ay kinahanglan dapat nga walay mga stock water para walay mga breeding grounds sa mga dengue causing mosquitoes, di ba? So mao nang basic causes. Okay, sa dako nga scope, sa dako nga level. Okay? So kumbaga mo ning macro environmental level kani kay sa family, and micro kani din sa individual level. Okay? So don't forget this framework kay usually mao ning ma-encounter ninyo sa community. Okay. So we also have human anatomy, physiology, and nutrition. So this is where we discuss the close relationships between anatomy, physiology, and nutrition. Okay. Let's review first how life is organized. Okay, from the smallest to the largest. So we have cell. So a cell is the smallest living unit of life. Okay, an example of this is a neuron. Neuron is the cells, no, of the nervous system. Tissues are aggregates of cells. So when cells combine together, they become a tissue. So example of this is white matter. So we can say that a white matter is a nervous tissue that is comprised of many neurons or many cells. Okay, when tissues combine together, they would become an organ. For example, brain. Okay, ang brain man is composed of many tissues including white matter. Okay. Yeah, so when several white matter aggregate and combine, they would become the brain. Okay. And when organs combine together, they can form an organ system. So an example is nervous system. So nervous system is comprised man of uh, three organs: the brain, the spinal cord, and then the nerve tissues. Okay. And several organ systems would uh, operate as one organism or one human being. So a human being is composed of many organ systems man, including nervous system. Okay. And several collections of humans, respective of the ethnic background, would become a population, and several populations would become a community. So, this is how human life is organized from the smallest unit, which is cell, to the largest unit, which is the community. Okay? Very important ni no kay ang nutrients man kay ga-operate from the smallest to the largest unit. Okay? So, we also have the organ systems and their roles in nutrition. So, um, this is just a brief, like review, no, of the organ systems and kung unsa ilahang close relationship with nutrition. For example, cardiovascular system, it is involved in the transport of nutrients, gases, waste products, regulation of body temperature, and involvement with the immune response. So, cardiovascular system is involved in the transport of nutrients from the digestive system to the rest of the organ systems. Okay, kay naaman sa cardiovascular system ang dugo. Okay? So, ang mga nutrients na adi sa dugo para mo travel siya no all around the body kay siya ang mo distribute sa mga nutrients throughout the body. The main organ system with respect to nutrition no is the digestive system, because the digestive system is the one that extracts nutrients from the foods that we eat. Okay? Siya ang mo digest o mo absorb og nutrients from the food, and the digestive system through the colon uh, is involved no, in the elimination of undigested food products or feces or stool. Okay? So, very important ang digestive system, guys, because unsaon nato pag incorporate sa unsaon nato pagkuha sa nutrients if wala yung digestive system. Okay? So, we really cannot live without the digestive system. Okay? What about the endocrine system? Endocrine system is composed of organs that release hormones. So, sila ang ga-produce og release og hormones. So, these hormones are involved in the metabolism of nutrients. Okay, say for example, uh, we have this hormone called as aldosterone. So, aldosterone is one of the hormones no necessary for the conservation of water and sodium. Okay, another example is thyroxine. Thyroxine uh, is a hormone being secreted by the thyroid gland, and the thyroxine molecule itself has iodine, and kanang iodine ginakuha na siya from foods. So without iodine thyroxine, the thyroxine hormone cannot be produced. And kani siya nga hormone responsible for metabolism of macronutrients. Okay? Um, we also have parathormone or parathyroid hormone and calcitonin. These are the hormones needed for the homeostasis of calcium. Okay? Like, kung mataas ang calcium sa lawas, si calcitonin ang i-release para mo-normalize si blood calcium levels. But if mumubo ang calcium levels, ang gina-produce sa body is parathyroid hormone para mo normalize, mo balik sa normal si calcium levels. Okay? So, therefore, kaning mga hormones no very important in the handling and processing of nutrients in the body. We also have the immune system. Immune system is the one that provides defense against foreign substances. It is related in a sense that the immune system cannot work without nutrients. Okay? Like, we want our immune system to be strong, so therefore we support it through nourishment. So kinahanglan nga well-nourished ang mga cells that are involved in the immune system para makadefend siya effectively against foreign substances. Because malnutrition would lead to weakened immune system. Okay? Kaya kani sila, kinahanglan ba na sila og proteins for the production of antibodies, kinahanglan siya og zinc, vitamin A, vitamin D. Those are the nutrients that are considered immunomodulatory. Therefore, they are needed in the normal immune response. We also have the integumentary system. So the integumentary system protects the body, regulates the temperature, aids in acid base and water balance, and production of vitamin D. Okay. Um, we also have the lymphatic system, helps with fluid balance and fat absorption, removes foreign substances from the blood. So kaning integumentary system nato no, ang iyahagid nga specific nga role sa nutrition, it is part in the production of vitamin D as what I've explained ganina. And sa excretion pud nga part no, um, because we can eliminate excess water through perspiration, and you know that that's a function of the skin. Okay, the skin also stores minerals like zinc. Okay, so yeah, the lymphatic system, very important siya sa fat absorption. In order for us to be able to to absorb dietary fats, moagi manggod ng na-absorb na to nga fats from the digestive system through the lymphatic vessels before ang fats ma-incorporate sa bloodstream. Okay? So we'll just discuss more about that when we reach fats, no? We also have muscular system. The muscular system is the reservoir of our proteins. Okay? So if kulang atong proteins, then dili pud maayo atong mga muscles, and that is a main indication no, of malnutrition. Okay? The nervous system, of course, our brain needs a lot of nutrients. Because atong brain gagana yun na siya constantly. So the brain needs a lot of nutrient input. Okay? And aside from that, our brain influences our appetite, our hunger, our desire to eat. Okay? So, yeah. Respiratory system is the one that involves in the elimination of carbon dioxide, which is a waste product of macronutrient metabolism. So, katong sa energy harvest, guys, katong sa glycolysis, TCA, and especially sa TCA, diha ta makaproduce og carbon dioxide from carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. So, kanang carbon dioxide, it must be exhaled out through the lungs, through the respiratory system. So actually kanang carbon dioxide nga atong ginaginhawa pagawas gikan ra na sa pagkaon nga atong ginakaon. Okay? Because the very carbon atoms that are found in the carbon dioxide came from the very carbon atoms found in the foods. Okay? So essentially gina-convert ra na to ang foods into carbon dioxide gas. Okay? So, maunang function ng respiratory system sa excretion nga part. Remember that excretion of waste substances is part of the process of nutrition. We also have the reproductive system. Okay? Um, unsa may role niya sa nutrition or unsa may role ni nutrition vice versa sa reproductive system? Well, very important ang nutrients sa reproductive success. Okay? Sa fertility. Okay? For example, if ang lalaki no ga-suffer from zinc deficiency, then most likely gamay iyang sperm count. Most likely mag-lead siya to subfertility. Okay, dili kayo siya kulang iyang production sa sperm cells. So because zinc is very important in spermatogenesis and semen mao na siya ang ginarelease sa lalaki no during sexual ejaculation. Diha pod makit-an ang sperm cells no. Ang semen sa lalaki is rich in zinc. Okay? Ngano man, it speaks volumes on the importance of zinc in the male reproductive health kay kinahanglan man gud siya sa growth and maintenance of health sa sperm cells. Okay? So, that's why daghan kayog zinc ang naa sa semen no. So, yeah, that's an example of how our reproductive system is involved no. Or how nutrition is involved in the reproductive system. Okay? Kung dili pud maayo ang nutritional status sa babae like kung obese siya or kung underweight siya, less likely pud siya maburos. Okay? So yeah. We also have the skeletal system. Our skeletal system houses the bones, no? And the bones are the reservoir of calcium, phosphate, and other minerals. Okay? The urinary system is involved in the elimination of excess water as well as waste products of protein metabolism, which is urea, and other excess nutrients like kung sobra-sobra na ang vitamins, kung sobra-sobra na ang minerals, pwede na siya i-release through the urine. Okay? So, yeah. So, we can say that each of these organ systems is intricately related with nutrition. Okay? So, those are just few of the examples now of how uh, Ana and Fisho meet with nutrition. Okay, let's proceed to the methods of evaluating nutritional status or methods of evaluating nutriture. So this is what we call nutrition assessment. So we will have a separate chapter for this one, chapter 3. Okay, but I'd like to introduce to you the four methods of nutrition assessment. We have anthro, biochemical, clinical, and dietary. Okay, so for uh, the anthropometry, it is the method of evaluating nutritional status which involves the measurement of body's dimensions. When you say body's dimensions, we have the height, weight, okay, usually height and weight yun na. Okay? So, ang kabugat, ang katas-on nato, ngano man, kay they are indicators of growth. And kung kulang sa nutrients, then compromise po datong growth. So therefore, if you are too short for your age, or if underweight ka, or if overweight ka, that means na akay forms of malnutrition. No? Okay? So that's what you call anthropometry. What about biochemical? Biochemical involves the measurement of nutrients in bodily fluids like blood and urine. Okay? This is where we utilize lab tests in order to determine whether our blood is deficient with or has an excess of nutrients. Okay? Like for example, hemoglobin. If kulang ang hemoglobin sa imong dugo, that means it's very possible nga na kay iron deficiency. Okay? So, kani diri ang mga lab tests nato diri sa biochemical. What about clinical? This is the examination of the physical features of the human body. So, kung unsa atong makit-an no physically sa isa ka person, that's what you call clinical examination. Morning physical examination kumbaga nato. The other term for this is nutrition focused physical exam or NFPE. So later I'll show you pictures no of uh, the clinical features or physical features of a human body that could indicate uh, certain nutrient deficiencies. We also have dietary. So this is where we measure the amount of nutrients from the foods that we eat. Okay, we utilize a lot of tools in this aspect. Okay, say for example, if we compute no for the nutrient content um, of a particular food, so that's actually involved in the dietary part of the assessment. Okay, so these are examples no of nutrition assessment. Okay, these are examples of the findings of nutrition assessment, especially in the clinical part. Okay, ingon nako takot katong clinical part is physical exam no. So example kani, this is pallor. Okay, ah basta kung pale no ang conjunctiva, as you can see here, dili kaayo siya red no. So, what do you think this pallor means? What does this indicate? Unsa nga nutrient deficiency? Sige, I'll give you time to think like mga 10 seconds. Okay, so pallor actually indicates iron deficiency. So see, by just examining this part of the eye, may indicate that someone has a particular nutrient deficiency. So, this is part of the clinical or NFPE. Okay, so that is how we assess, no? Okay, so basically, guys, nutritional assessment is the process no, that we employ in order to identify whether this person has a nutritional problem. So, for example, if we utilize the clinical method, so we just examine no, the physical features of a person. So if makita natong inani no, this might indicate might lang kay napa may other causes of pallor dili lang man nutrient deficiency. Okay? But usually nutrient deficiency gina siya or iron deficiency. Okay? Next is petechiae. This is not read as petike but it's read as petechiae. So kaning mga reddish nga spots no. This usually indicates vitamin C deficiency. Okay? Phrynoderma. This is a type of follicular hyperkeratosis. So this indicates what vitamin deficiency. It's vitamin A deficiency. So if inani atong makit-an no sa physical exam, this might indicate vitamin A deficiency. Pelagrous dermatitis kani uh, from the term pelagra. Pelagra is the deficiency disorder of vitamin B3 or niacin deficiency. Corkscrew hair. Okay. Actually kani zoom in ra ni nga version ani diri ani. Kay you can also see here kani petechiae, okay? And then hair nga corkscrew, okay? So therefore this is vitamin C deficiency as well. Usually mahibaw-an nimo nga petechiae siya nga cause. Okay, daghan causes sa petechiae. Um One of that is vitamin C deficiency. But how can we say nga vitamin C deficiency na siya and not other causes? Kung naay corkscrew hair, petechiae plus corkscrew hair, kana ti mailhan yun na siya nga vitamin C yun na. We can be certain nga vitamin C deficiency yun na. Kani corkscrew ang hair nga ma-observe ninyo diri. So, it's vitamin C deficiency. Koilonychia. Okay. Koilonychia indicates what nutrient deficiency? Again, this is indicative of iron deficiency. Okay? Mauning spoon shape nails kay ilang nails ba murag kutsara. Okay, kay concave. Okay? So, timailhan po ni siya sa long-standing or chronic iron deficiency. Okay. So, kani guys nga table would show you findings of the physical exam, findings sa clinical assessment, and kung unsa nga possible nutrient deficiency ang implicated ana. Okay? Like for example, katong ingon nako, corkscrew hair, coiled hair, vitamin C. Okay? Aside from that, vitamin A deficiency can also lead to this, but usually vitamin C. Spooning or koilonychia, iron. Okay? Kani mga toxicity. So kani kung deficient or kulang kani kay sobra-sobra. Again, dili pwede pud nga sobra-sobra, di ba? Bisag nutrient na but di gyapon pwede nga excessive. So kung excessive mo sad ni ang mahitabo nga mga problems. So I will just leave this for your own reading. Okay? Basahan lang ninyo to nga table. Okay, next is history of nutrition as is science. Okay. Um The science of nutrition, guys, is relatively young compared to other fields of sciences. Okay. Um, but we can actually categorize the main milestones in the history of nutrition into four eras. We have the naturalistic era. This is from 400 BC to 1750 AD. This is where certain foods are implicated with a particular health outcome. Okay? Like diri una na observe no nga kung magkaon kag daghan nga gulay o prutas, mas nindot imong skin, okay, mas healthy ka, okay? Actually, this is Hippocrates era. Hippocrates is, the father of medicine. And he is the one who coined this term, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. Okay, so even the father of medicine, guys, recognized the importance of nutrition in medicine. Okay? So, yeah. But, dili pa kaayo sila sure kung say naa sa foods. Nganong kaning mga foods kay related man sa specific nga health outcome. Nganong kani siyang mga foods kay nindot siya sa health. It's unknown. The reason is yet unknown in this era. But kabalo na sila nga na certain health effects ang mga foods. Okay. What about in the next era, which is the chemical analytical era? So this is when scientists started to um, analyze no, the composition of foods and try to understand how they affect no human health through analyzing the components of the food. Okay, that's why it's called the chemical analytical era. And this is when Anton Lavoisier, who is considered the father of nutrition, was born. And this is also when Anton Lavoisier concluded that the oxygen that we take in, that oxygen is needed in order to um, in order for our cells to be able to derive energy from the foods that we eat. Okay, so this is when the father of nutrition first recognized that uh, oxygen is used para sa breakdown of foods sa tong lawas. Okay, so that's why he is called as the father of nutrition because of that conclusion and experiment. The biological era, this is the next era, no? This ran from 1900s to 1955. This is when nutrients are discovered. Okay, this is when the individual nutrients are discovered. Okay, so we have the first vitamin discovered, which is actually thiamine, vitamin B1, followed by vitamin A. And the rest, mag-follow na din ang the rest, no? So, yeah, it's only within this period, no, nga na-discover individually ang mga nutrients. Okay? Cellular molecular era, this is when the study of nutrition is brought down to the level of the cells. Okay? Nga dito na recognize nga si nutrients or nutrients must be studied in the cellular level. Like kung unsay ginahimo sa cells with these nutrients. Okay? Because after all, diha man mag root diha man ang root cause sa malnutrition kanang sa cellular nga level. Okay? And actually morning sa present nato we usually we must usually study no nutrition in the cellular level kung unsay mahitabo sa mga nutrients sa cell. Okay? So that's why you are being taught by unsa ni mga cells, unsay gakahitabuan na kay maupod natong studyhan sa nutrition. Okay? So, yeah. We also have a scope of nutrition as a science. So, mo nitong three fields of ND nga akong giingon. We have first the community nutrition. So, ang setting nato ani is from the term itself sa community. Foods and food service system. So, this is where we manage food service institutions like restaurants, cafeterias, and other establishments that serve food. Okay? Diri pod mabutang ang food safety, no? Okay? Then diri mabutang ang science of foods, food science, ang basic foods ninyo na diri nga area. Okay? And nutritional biochemistry and clinical dietetics. So this is my field of interest, no? And this is when we take the study of nutrition in the cellular, in the molecular level. Okay, this is where we study nutrition in a biochemical perspective and apply those principles in the management of clinical patients. And that's what we call as clinical dietetics. Okay, so this is when we use our knowledge in nutritional biochemistry in the management of diseases. Okay? So, mauning tulo nga field sa nutrition dietetics. Mao ni ang inyong studyhan sa tibuok nga 4 years ninyo as an ND student. Okay? So, kanang mga major subjects ninyo, each mag-fall under ani nga mga arms. Okay? The third field can be termed simply as nutrition and dietetics as per RA 10862. RA 10862 is the Nutrition and Dietetics Law of 2016. So, sa kana nga law, no, diha nato makitaan ang composition sa board exam. Okay? So, atong board exam kay 600 items tanan, 200 items sa community nutrition, 200 items sa food service, and 200 items sa clinical. So, ang term sa clinical dietetics sa kaninga law is simply nutrition dietetics. Okay? So that's why mao ni ang atong three fields kay mao man ang composition sa atong board exam. So, when you graduate, guys, you can be a community nutritionist or you can be the manager, no, of food service establishments, or you can be a clinical dietitian. Okay? So, yeah. If you choose this course to be your pre-med course, then kaning third nga field, no, mao gyud ni ang pinaka-important sa ato as a medicine student. Okay, diri man ta ma-orient, no, when it comes to the medicine part. Okay, there are specializations in nutrition and dietetics. So mao ning mga specifics sa ND. So pwede pud ka mag-specialize ani. Although kung mag-specialize ka ani dapat na kay masters or PhD na. So kung gusto nimo nga mahimo kang sports nutritionist, then pwede ka mag-masters or mag-take og any postgraduate certification para matawag ka nga sports nutritionist if you want to specialize in this area. I'm really encouraging you guys to venture, no, into nutritional biochemistry or molecular nutrition. Okay? Kay mao man ang trend karon. Okay? Kay ang science of nutrition, unlike what others might believe nga ang nutrition luto-luto lang nara sa kitchen, and mao pud siguro na atong pagtan-aw, no, especially katong elementary pa ta nga kung mag-nutrition man magluto-luto lang ta. But karon na-realize na yun ninyo, guys, nga it's way more than that. Okay? Nga I hope na-realize ninyo, no, nga ang nutrition is really biochemistry because these nutrients are biochemicals. Okay? That is what we use in biochemistry, kaning mga nutrients. So if you want, no, to specialize in that, then maybe you can have this as your specialization. Nutritional genomics, this is when we study, no, the interrelationship of genetics and nutrition. Kaya na may effect ang nutrition to the genes and vice versa, genes to your nutrition. Okay? So, we will discuss more of this, guys, when, dito sa chapter 10, no, introduction ra. Okay? Renal nutrition, if you want to specialize in treating patients with kidney disease. So that's renal nutrition. Oncologic nutrition is if you want to specialize in the treatment of cancer patients. Oncology means study of cancer. Okay. Pediatric and geriatric nutrition, if you want to deal with children, then it's pediatric. Or if you want to deal with geriatrics or elderly, so yeah. Diabetes nutrition is management of diabetes, sports nutrition, and space nutrition. So if you want to be part no, of a space program, if space nutritionist ka, no, ikaw ang involved sa meal planning, sa kaunon sa mga astronauts, ikaw ang mag uh, do og nutritional assessment sa um, astronauts. Very important ba na ano nga physically fit ato ang astronauts no before they go into space. So very important ang diet. So ikaw ang mag-manage ana. Okay? So yeah, that's space nutrition. And this is another cool specialization in ND. Okay? And actually there are other specializations. Mao lang ni akong gi-highlight. Okay? Nutrition as a science is also related with other fields. We have anatomy, agriculture, microbiology. Maunang kani sila naapod mo yung subject ani sa iyong curriculum. Okay? In one way or another, related siya sa nutrition. Okay? Like for example, kaning microbiology, di ba? Very important is sa food safety. Okay? Uh, there are also microbes no, that give us nutrients, kaning mga microbes na to nga naa sa ato ang gut bacteria sa atong colon. Okay? Yeah. Biochemistry, of course, dentistry, food sciences, food tech. Food tech is highly related with nutrition. Okay? Actually, no, as an ND student, pwede pud ka ma-employ sa mga professions that traditionally hire food technologists. Kay um, pari-pareho ra sila, pero ang difference that ang food technology walay health nga aspect. Kitamang good sa ND, food plus health. Pero sa food tech, strictly naara siya sa food. So natay edge kay gina-connect man nato ang food sa health. Okay? Genetics, histology, medicine. Okay? Mao nang gina-take ninyo ang nutrition as a pre-med. Okay? Arts. Okay? Nutrition is also related no with these arts like anthropology. Actually na ay subject no nga nutritional anthropology sa when you do masters no or PhD in anthropology. So in that specific field of anthropology, you study no the food culture, ang diet sa mga populations, sa mga certain ethnic groups. Okay? Communications, economics, history, okay? Kani. Photography, okay? If you want to become like a legit social media influencer, then you want to be good in photography because you want to take pictures no, of healthy foods because you want to be a legit social media influencer. So yeah, diba? Related siya with nutrition. Psychiatry, psychology, culinary arts. Okay? Kung gusto ninyo nga inclined mo with luto, 'di ba? Yeah. You can venture to culinary nutrition. So specialization po ng culinary nutrition. So kabalo ka magluto plus kabalo ka sa nutrition, 'di ba? So that is really a very powerful combination. Oo. Kay chef ka tapos galuto ka og mga healthy foods. Nindot kayo siya. So pwede na nung inana. Okay? Because I really recognize that not all of you uh, are fond of the hard science nga parts sa nutrition. Some of you might be more interested in the lighter part of the study like kanang culinary. Okay? So yeah, that's good. Okay? Nindot po siya nga inana. So I just want to emphasize that nutrition is related no with the other fields. Okay, I just want to check at this point kung unsa na ta nga time. Okay, hapit na gyud mag 2 hours. Okay, actually guys, naapay isa na PowerPoint no before nako humanon. Okay. Although guys, pwede ra siguro nako nga kani ipabasa ra nako ninyo kay kuan ra man ni siya. Review naman ni kay nagka-human anat naman mo ani. Okay? Naman ni sa human anatomy ninyo. So, therefore, ang akong discussion taman ra diri. Taman ra mahuman ni nga PowerPoint. Okay. Okay, anyways, let's proceed to the healthy diet. Okay. So, the World Health Organization has released a set of guidelines on the composition of the healthy diet. So, by adhering to the healthy diet, all forms of malnutrition as well as non communicable diseases can be prevented. So, the following are the components of the healthy diet for adults. So, if your diet is comprised with this, then you can say that your diet is healthy. Okay? Dapat minimum of 400 grams na of combined fruits and vegetables per day. Then, dapat imong diet na ay legumes, nuts, and whole grains. Then, imuhang sugar intake kay less than 10% of your energy intake. Ang ideal gani is 5% of the energy intake. So, therefore, dili nga most of your energy kay magikan sa sugar. So, less than 10% ra di ay. Then, imuhang total fat intake is less than 30% of your energy intake. Imong unsaturated fats are mas daghan compared sa saturated fats. Okay? Then, your salt intake is dili siya mo taas sa 5 grams per day. And the salt must be iodized. Okay? So, kana siya guys. Um, the healthy diet can also be defined by the finding of this uh, study by Fadnes et al. This is very recent guys, 2022 lang. Mao ni ilang na find out. Western diet, this is a dietary pattern no nga unhealthy as what I've explained ganina. Usually mauni ang components sa sa western diet nga dietary pattern. 50 ra ang whole grains, ang vegetables to 50 ra, ang fruits 200 ra, then walay nuts, walay legumes. Then more on processed meat, more on sugar. 500 kayong sugar. Red meat is very high, 100, refined grains 150. So mao ni ang typical nga dietary pattern sa western diet. So what about the optimal diet? Okay, kani ang ginatawag natong healthy diet. So dapat 225 ang whole grains, so mas dako siya. Ang vegetables mas dako, ang fruits mas dako, then dapat naanay nuts, naanay legumes. Mas dako ang fish compared sa red meat. Zero ang red meat, guys. So therefore, most of your proteins would come from aside from milk and eggs, dapat sa fish pud siya. Then ang eggs mas gamay, 25 na lang. But as you can see, bisag sa healthy diet no naagyud eggs gihapon. Yeah, so it's wrong to say nga ang healthy diet wala dapat egg. No. Okay, because according to this diet this study no, naagid yapon ang egg although lesser lang no sa ginatawag nga healthy diet. And ang milk and dairy is 200, taas-taas gyapon kay kaning milk manggod is a source of calcium. Milk is an incredibly nutritious food. So that's why dili na to siya tanggalon no sa tong diet. Refined grains, gamay ra. Okay? Compared sa whole grains, mas daghan ang whole grains, no? Okay? So therefore, dapat atong mga cereals, no? Ato ang rice, dapat brown rice. Okay, whole grain man ang brown rice, then ang refined grain is kanang white rice. Okay? Walay processed meat, walay red meat, gamay lang ang white meat, so gamay lang ang poultry, no? Then walay sugar, sweetened beverage. So walay coke, okay? And ang added plant oils is 25. So mo ning ginatawag nga healthy diet. And this is associated with longer lifespan. This is according to this study. You can find the citation sa references ani nga PowerPoint. Okay? But let's compare that with the findings in the National Nutrition Survey, no? Okay? Kani siya morning findings sa NNS. Kaning National Nutrition Survey is a 5-year survey on nutrition, no, conducted by the Food and Nutrition Research Institute of the Department of Science and Technology. So, in 2015, morning findings sa survey, no, in 2015, um gamay ra ang vegetables kay 9.3% lang sa diet, di ba? Compared to this, dako-dako gyud dapat ang vegetables. 400 pinakadako ang vegetables, no, sa diet, but kani 9% ra. 9% ra siya sa Filipino diet. Ang pinakadaghan is cereals, 32%. Yes, it's expected kay ganan gyud tag kanon. Okay? Fish is 15.5. Okay, that's not bad. Although dako-dako gyud gyapon ang sa meat, 13.5. Okay? Ang milk 4.3 lang kay ang Filipino diet di man gyud kaayo into dairy. Okay? Sugar is 2.2%, very high. Fats and oils 2.8, okay lang. Yeah. So, this is according to the 2015 nga result. But what about katong 2018? Mas nidako ang vegetables. Okay, that's good kay nag-improve. Nahimo na siyang 15% compared in 2015 nga 9.3 lang. And dilapas na siya sa minimum. According sa healthy diet, 400 grams ang minimum sa vegetables, which na comply sa Filipinos. Okay? What about fruits? Kaning wa nato na comply ang fruits. Ang sa milk, wa nato na gamay na lang, 198 man to, then 200. 200 ang sa healthy diet. Ang fish, let's see if na-meet na tong sa fish. Fish is 338.1. I think tanubra na ta. Ang fish 200 lang, but it's okay. What about sweets kanang sugar? 33 grams. I think ilapas na ta. Okay, zero ba yan? Then 33 grams yun atong gina-take. Okay? So, an average Filipino person consumes these foods. Okay? But katong nag-pandemic, this is the result, no, of the Rapid Nutrition Assessment Survey done by the same agency. Nidako gyud ang proportions of households who were food insecure. That means wala kayo sila naka-access, no, sa mga nutritious foods. Okay? So expected kay grabe ba ang lockdown ato. So nigamay gid ang food accessibility. Okay? So yeah, but can we say that one size fits all? Kumbaga, Is there a particular type of diet that is healthy to all? Although kani general na siya, mao ni siya ang gina-recommend nato sa population, but we must individualize our nutrition intervention. That means ang atong i-recommend nga diet sa isa ka patient or sa isa ka person dapat based sa iyaha nga condition. Okay? And in the field of nutritional genomics, guys, that is where things in nutrition start to become more interesting because pwede di ay nato ma-utilize no ang kung unsay genetic makeup sa tao, then out of that makabalot ta unsay best nga diet nga ihatag sa iyaha. Okay? So maunang emerging nga science karon kaning nutritional genomics, like uh, later on pwede na ta makabasa no og results sa genetic test, and out of that makabalot ta unsay best nga diet sa iya. And we know that each of us has unique genetic makeup. So therefore, lahi-lahi gyud ang best nga diet sa ato. Kay lahi-lahi man tag genetic makeup. Okay? But generally speaking, kani nga mga components sa healthy diet, mao gyud ni siya ang healthy sa tanan kumbaga. Okay? But this would not be applicable to all. Okay? To majority lang, but to all dili ni siya applicable. So mas kuanta no, mao nang mag-venture to sa personalized nutrition or individualized nutrition. Okay? So, I think the last section in this presentation is about nutrition research. So, I just want to point out that in doing nutrition research, it's the same with other fields that it follows the scientific method. So, mag-observe ta, and from our observation, makaproduce tag hypothesis. Okay? And then we test the hypothesis through the conduct of experiment or through the conduct of a particular research design. And kung sa ang results ani, depende kung ma-prove ang hypothesis or ma-disprove. Okay? So that is how we conduct in nutrition research. Okay. So I guess guys the rest of this pwede na nako ipabasa sa inyo ha. Okay? Naaman dito sa libro ni Smolin and Grosvenor. Okay? Aman siya sa inyong reading assignment. So, you can read more about this guys in that part of the chapter 1. Okay? Kani kay naaman ni siya dito. So, gi-arrange ra nako kung unsa ang dapat basahon ninyo nga part no. Sa last pages na siya sa chapter 1 sa katong nga libro. Okay? And I want you to read this one. Okay? Kani siya ang history sa nutrition research. Okay? So, naa dito infographic nga na-summarize na ang tanan. So, pwede mo mag-refer dito. Okay? So, kinahanglan nga magbasa ta no, dili lang ta magsalig sa discussion. Okay? Kay para enrich ang iyong reading skills as well as comprehension skills. Okay? So that's it. That's the end of our discussion for chapter 1. So if you have questions guys sa tanan nga parts nga naa diri sa chapter 1 nato, pwede ta mag-meet on Wednesday since wala man ta klase sa 7 to 10 nato sa Wednesday kay wala pa ko ana, Thursday pa ko mobalik. Okay? So pwede ta mag-set og another time maybe sa later nga part sa Wednesday, siguro sa hapon, for an open forum. So mag Google Meet lang ta ana. And diha na ko i-entertain inyong mga questions. Okay, so mag-announce lang ko further about that, kung unsa oras ta mag open forum for your questions no on Wednesday. Okay? But wala tay klase on Tuesday and Wednesday. Okay, kay wala pud ko ana nga mga time. Okay? So I want you to utilize no the time no for studying this video discussion as well as katong mga reference materials nga akong gihatag. Okay. So, naapay isa ka part sa chapter no which is the digestive system. So, pwede ta magbasa ani and mugawas po ni siya sa chapter 1 exam nato. Di na kaayo na di sa nako ni discuss. I-discuss lang nako ni siya after nato mahuman sa chapter 1 nato nga exam. Although majority sa mga questions ah mo kuan no, mo diri nako kwaon sa na-discuss gyud nako, but naay mga few questions nga mo gikan diri. Okay? Anyways, dili naman ni kaayo lisod sa inyo ha kay nahuman naman mo sa anafi ninyo. But definitely after sa atong chapter 1 exam, on Thursday man kay after sa exam, mag-checking man ta. So ipa-check man nako ang inyuhang mga papers and i-explain man nako ang each question. Okay? So dito pud nako i-insert ang discussion about this topic. Okay? So that's it guys. So congratulations, you're done now with this chapter, and we will proceed now to the next chapter, which is on the basic tools in nutrition. So goodbye and good luck.